My dad was a health inspector back home in India, and he always preferred, if I could join the health sector, it would be good because it's always future. Um, so I think I was looking which one will fit me, and I found the nursing would be better. So that was the inspiration. So I started nursing. I trained in India, south part of India called Chennai, and the little town called Coimbatore. I'm always interested in intensive care, and luckily I managed to get the job soon after I qualified. I worked in intensive medical care unit. Since 1998, I don't want to calculate, that will show my age. Yeah, nearly 25 years. I came 2 years after I qualified. I came here 2001. So in UK, it's 22 years completing now. It's multiple factors actually, because I felt in India the nursing is just a growing profession, so people not aware of real value of nurse at the time. And I feel I know I am very passionate about nursing. I want to say nursing is a great profession, but then I realized UK has always opened the door for nurses and the value nurses, and I would like to explore a little bit how UK system works for nurses. Then my friends, few of them gone to America and some Middle East country. Looking at those days, I was really brave to come to UK from my home country because I was the only daughter at home, and I never traveled anywhere apart from my hometown. So it was a big change for me. So change always comes with challenges. So when I arrived in the airport, the weather was so cold. The September end, it was extremely cold. Comparatively, back home at that time it was 35 degrees. It was about 16 something at the time. That was weather was a challenge, and even the slang and the language. I was very direct communication, but there is no attached slang. That was a challenge. Food was challenge because I love my food, Indian food. But after coming here, I have to sacrifice a lot of things. I can't have the Indian vegetable because it was a little village where I got the placement as adaptation nurse in nursing home. And the transport was a challenge. Of course, the social life was challenge. Now I realized the nurses coming to UK, they have structured orientation, but not at the time. And the nursing home also, that was the first time they receiving the Indian nurses. And it was cultural shock for me and them, because I don't look at their eyes to talk, and I don't call them by name, feel like disrespecting. I had madam or sir, they don't like those things. It was quite, reflecting those things. Those all are really a challenge at the time, just put me down sometimes, but I'm proud of myself for overcome those challenges. It was Surrey, the place called Like Water. It's a proper nursing home. They have about 30 plus patients who need full support, like they're quite dependent on all the care. So it was really new place of work for me, new field of work, even though I studied about elderly care. I did know people, but they are very far. So the accommodation which was arranged by the agents, and about 20 minutes walk from nursing home to the accommodation. And it was hard one point, mainly the winter comes like December, January, and we don't have any transport. So we have to walk. That's the only option. So few kind people give us some lift to go. So I would say accommodation inside is so good, but the transport wasn't available. The second thing, bank account, it was open straight away because they have to pay, like sorting out things. That was not a problem. Orientation given with a local place one time, and it's not enough because, it's everything shock, you don't grasp thing initially. And we kind of like rule it out ourselves where the shops are. And that also, there's no Indian groceries for first 6 months, I would say. Social life, it was like self-motivation, I would say. I go to the local library and I meet the people and introduce myself. They're good, actually. They showed the interest talking to me. So just to know, the confident talking English and confident to talk to the people, strange people, which I gained. But the Indian community, apart from these 4 people we came together, there is no other connection to Indian community. Apparently, the 3 people came along with me. They speak different language back home, and I speak different language. So it's personally, for me, the social life really compromised for first 9 months, I would say. We have few Filipino nurses. Majority of the workplace are white people, and all the patients are like white patients, people from this country. So that's a really cultural shock for them and for me as well. And that career-wise, the orientation, the communication to the patient, and that all we just learned from someone, like observing them. So there wasn't any structured program to teach us. So I was so keen to learn, and I was very positive. Some of the people, some of my friends, colleagues, they went home and they cried because they couldn't cope. They don't know what to do, at the time. And it was quite strange feeling, and a lot of things which really disturb your confidence at the time, even though you're a fantastic nurse back home coming here, that you can't show your true potential in the place because the environment is not helping you to show, because there is no structured thing to help us. So it was a challenge. We do have a mentor, but her ratio is really 1 in 8 something. So 1 mentor for 8 of them, and she only comes once a week to give us, so we're working towards the NMC registration. She comes once a week. So we didn't have enough time with our mentor either. When we came, there is no IELTS. It was decision letter we should receive before you come to this country. Then they have a 6-month program. This is called adaptation program. But even though I did well, but I only got my PIN number 9th month. After 9 months, everyone got after 9 months, even though they said that you get it 5 to 6 months. And I didn't feel any, apart from delayed to getting the PIN number. Otherwise, it's kind of straightforward. I didn't know anything about Royal College of Nursing. After I came here, I heard about Royal College of Nursing, and I thought, this is union, you need to register with them. They'll support you with the problem. One of the Filipino nurses, she was very keen. Regardless, you should register. So don't wait for the problem to come, because they will help you with a lot other thing as well. And I did register within 2 months of arrival. So that helped me a lot. I will tell, that is a story, how RCN helped me. I always tell everyone, even now, but have you registered with IEN? Soon after I got my PIN number, it was hard time for me working in nursing home, because that's not my specialty, and I didn't have any training how to look after the elderly people, and always passionate about going to intensive care. Then I called RCN, said these things, because either I have to go back home because I can't cope with the workload here, but I really wanted to stay in UK, because if I don't have any other option, I might go back, because my parents, they're all very upset that I'm struggling here. And they said, okay, that's absolutely fine. You came here to help us, and you can find your employer if you're not comfortable, because you can't work the place you are not happy, okay? And because your performance won't be good enough, and it's not good for patient either. So look around the job. If you're able to get the job, that's absolutely fine. Then I managed to get the job in Band 5 IENS, and I got a work permit, and I called RCN and said what I do now, because I got work permit, but I feel guilty leaving my current employer, because I have contract 2 years. And they said that is legally, because Royal College of Nursing always give a proper guidance. There's a good time I approached RCN, they guided me, and 10th month I'm working, already I'm working in my dream job. I started British Indian Nurse Association, which was started just before COVID, and we did a lot of activities during COVID to support Indian nurses. A bunch of people came all over UK, and they thrown into deep end, because the crisis was no one expected. We supported most of them, like a well-being support, and we have a COVID protocol. Then we helped each other sharing these things. It was a good time that the network developed, because we supported each other. And now we have about 3,000 plus members in British Indian Nurse Association. And part of it, we do help them with the career progression, and also interview skills and OSCE training. Whatever possible help we can do, we'll do it. That network is really needed in order to share our even cultural differences, how we are coping. Like we have people came 10 years ago, 5 years ago, like a peer support, like what you have done when you come to this country. Informally, we do a lot of things as well. So next, about Royal College of Nursing, I'm so proud to say that I'm in the board, and we have a fantastic team. Their aspiration and their vision for the members, they are really great. But currently, we all are occupied with the pay crisis. Otherwise, we would have done lots and lots for members, but this is also for members we are doing it. Unfortunately, all of our time is taken for that. We are looking into a few agendas next month to plan and implement it, focusing on internationally educated nursing and midwives. That will be really strong agenda now, because there's more and more international nurses coming to UK. And even currently, the Welsh government went to India to recruit. They're signing memorandum of understanding in one of the states in India. RCNs will be ready to meet their demands. So I'm happy to be a part of the RCN board. Before I tell my current role, my background is critical care, as I said, and I have done my master's and independent prescribing. Now, the current role as advanced clinical nurse practitioner, I can say ACP, advanced clinical practitioner. I always passionate about equality and diversity, and I have done a lot of activities in our health board, setting up the BAME network and doing a lot of activities in that. So I heard about the job, which is a diaspora engagement advisor, which is a national role, and it is seconded by CNO Sutranka. She's Wales CNO. And this is really a competitive interview, so I got it. So my current role is with the charity organization called Tropical Health Education and Training Trust as Diaspora Engagement Advisor. So the diaspora means the ethnic minority population who works in UK healthcare system. They still have contribution to back home while they're contributing to NHS. Okay, so I am focusing on those population and showcase them and celebrating their contribution with the help of the organization they work. Following that, we're trying to give them more funding and fellowship to do more global health activities. And this is my role. So it's a 1-year project. I'm really enjoying. It's good to have some clear ideas about the work life in UK. And I would say the first thing, you have to have a qualification. Don't rush to come to UK. You have to have the proper qualification. You have to feel confident working in another country. So you have to analyze yourself about your gaps and knowledge working in another country. Okay, and it's good always go with the reliable sources to get information. Networking is very important, as I said. Even after you coming to UK, you should create the networking that will help you in many ways to live in UK with knowing the cultural differences and language, even with the communication methods. Back home, we use only the verbal communication, but coming to UK, it's very important. You have to communicate through emails, and you have to have evidence, whatever communication you make. That is very important. You have to prepare using, training yourself, even back home, email through communication through email. And more than anything, you have to have the resilience to going to another country. It's not your destination coming to UK, remember that. So your life starts from here. It's a new life. And you have a family life once you come to UK, and your work life and social life. You have to balance it. And well-being is very important, okay? And you have to speak up all your concerns, what you feel, okay? Never suffer in silence. You should speak up. And now in UK, everywhere in NHS, they have structure to look after the international trained nurses. Use it appropriately. You don't have to struggle as we struggled when we came 22 years ago, and we are here. And all you need to is speak up and be resilient and be engaged with the associations like British Indian Nurse Association and other associations, Filipino associations, and Nigerian Nurse Association. Engage with them and create your network, and focus on your career and be happy.